Hello there, Facebook friends. Happy Tuesday and happy tea time Tuesday. And I don't have my tea. I had a little bit of a doggy challenge. My dog has, well, he's got a sensitive belly, and 5 minutes before showtime, he's like, "Rrr," and I'm like, oh no, you've got to be kidding me. So I was a good mama and took him out ASAP. And I have two dogs right now, so it was like, so no time for tea, and I'm 1 minute late, and it takes a while for you guys to come anyway. So big friggin' topic today, and I got to be honest with you, I'm a little scared about this topic. Hey, Grace, good to have you here. I'm a little scared about this topic because it's a big friggin' topic, and I'm so curious to hear what you guys have to say about this topic. Hi everyone that's showing up, and again, if you're watching the replay, just write replay, and please comment on the replay. Comment below in the comments, and I'll interact with you. And of course, if you're live with me, please interact with me. That's so fun. So the question of the day. Oh my God, are all men narcissistic assholes? And are all women controlling bitches? Whoa. Hold on to your hats, or hold on to your seats, or whatever you have to hold on to. Hey, Adina. Okay. There's so much. This is a big friggin' topic, because those are words that I hear constantly. I hear women constantly saying their ex-husbands were narcissists, their boyfriends are narcissists, all men are assholes, and they're like closing shop and they don't want love. And I'm like, that's so sad. And it's also sad when I hear men going, are all women like control freaks? And why are they also so bitchy? And first of all, before I even dive into that, I want to talk about just the fact that these are words. like people get very sensitive about being called a bitch, or being called a control freak, or even being called a narcissist, and certainly being called an asshole. None of us want to be called those things. And yet if there's a lot of charge there for you, if someone calls you that and you find yourself like really reacting, I offer to you that that's a place for you to look at, because there might be something inside of you that hasn't really owned fully your bitch, which is a great thing to own, because inside the energy of a bitch is somebody who speaks their truth and speaks, expresses themselves fully, and sometimes might be called a bitch because they're being expressive, right? And then there's, of course, the bitchy quality that's kind of the overshooting, shadowy place where people get hurt. Same thing for the asshole, the men that are assholes. And of course, women can be assholes too. But anyway, this is kind of the typical thing I hear with men and women, that, men are, they're all so narcissistic, and inside the energy of narcissism is someone who is thinking about themselves. And we all need to think about ourselves, and it's just how it's coming out. That's the whole thing about shadow, guys, is if we don't all own all of who we are, we don't embrace all of who we are, if we're pushing away energy and our vital life force in some way, it's going to come out sideways. And that's why we have all these issues in relationships. And that's where we clash. So I want to talk about, are all men narcissistic assholes, and are all women control freaks or controlling bitches? Maybe, maybe not. So what the fuck does that mean? I say yes, and yes, we are all those things. We are all those things. We are narcissists because we do need to think about ourselves. But if we overshoot, we go into that edgy place of narcissism. Can we all be assholes? In reference to being an asshole, it's like maybe we're saying something that someone doesn't like. Asshole, negative, shadowy asshole is that part of us that's coming out sideways. If we haven't owned the part of us that can sometimes be contradictory, or saying things that people don't like. Sometimes we're confrontive, and people will think of us as an asshole if we come out sideways. But if we're confronting someone from a really healthy place, they still might think we're an asshole, but at least we know we're coming from a place of grounded communication. Same thing for controlling. If somebody's really controlling, that inside the control, inside the shadow of controlling, is somebody who's trying to have things be a certain way. You know, that's something, you know, we all need, the ability to take control and to ask for what we need. The thing is, if we have some stuff inside of us that is that has a challenge with asking for our needs to be met, or we haven't dealt with our fears, sometimes we could be overbearing and over controlling. And again, the bitch I see is the energy inside of the bitch, of course, is somebody who's fully expressing themselves and maybe expressing emotions. And sometimes somebody can't handle that because they're not used to having someone fully expressing themselves. And if you're fully expressing yourself in a healthy way, then that's awesome. That's healthy bitch energy, in my opinion. And all of that I just shared is actually not what I was going to talk about today, which is so funny. It's amazing, like when I just start to chat. So here's the deal, and this is massive, guys. This is massive. If in your past you have experienced shadowy narcissism, shadowy assholeism, shadowy controlling bitchy energy, and you've been hurt by it, you're going to be on guard. You're going to be on guard for it if you haven't healed that on the inside. If you've been hurt by someone who was a narcissist, as you know, in a relationship, specifically, I'm talking, not to say that women can't be narcissistic. I'm just going to talk about the men being narcissistic, because frankly, that's what I hear women calling men so often. And so if you've had an experience of someone like that, the interesting thing is you're going to be looking for it. You're going to be spotting it faster than most people because you've had that experience. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. The thing is that if you've been hurt by it and you've been experiencing, if you've experienced somebody using that energy in a negative way and you've been hurt by it, that risk manager part of you is going to be like, is he a narcissist? Is he an asshole? Let me look for the qualities. And frankly, if you are looking for the red flags and you're looking for the challenges people are having, like narcissistic behavior, I promise you, you will find those qualities because we all have them. The thing is, if it's unhealed inside of you, gosh, I'm really talking fast, aren't I? If that unhealed part is inside of you and you've been burned by somebody who has any of these qualities, men or women, then you're going to be, your radar for pain, radar for risk is going to be like, woo, woo, woo. And you're going to probably be seeing it in a lot of your relationships. Again, that's not a bad thing because maybe they are coming out sideways and maybe they are very self-centered, and maybe for some of the people that are expressing their bitchiness, maybe they're overshooting with their emotional energy and aren't owning it and coming from a grounded, healthy place. Let me explain. All right. So one of my recent relationships, it was a very interesting thing. I pride myself on good communication. I really do. And most of the people that know me will come to me and ask me, how do I say this? Or how do I communicate this with my partner? Because I've learned how to have healthy communication. I've learned how to express myself without being the over-controlling bitch. I could be controlling in a healthy way, and I could be bitchy in a certain way if I need to express myself and be heard. I believe strongly that I don't come out sideways the way I used to, because I've learned how to master, or at least have more mastery over my emotions. And if I slip and fall, I'll own it right away because I'll see it. So here's the thing, in this more recent relationship that I had, I would do what I call clean talk. If something happened and I had to express myself, I would say, hey, listen, I need to talk to you about something. And I would express my concerns or my fears or what was going on inside of me in the way that I've been taught to express myself so that somebody can hear me, somebody that can receive me and my truth without thinking I'm like like a bitch, right? Or overly critical. And the thing with this person that I had been dating was he heard this unbelievable over exaggerated communication. He saw me as highly critical. He saw me as highly aggressive. He saw me as someone that was, well, he didn't call me names and he didn't say I was a controlling bitch, but he saw an exaggerated persona. In fact, I would say something in a very direct, calm, clear way, and he would use words like, you know, you did that. Well, I don't know the words, but he would say these things that were like, who is he seeing? What is he hearing? What the frig is this about? And what I realized was I was his mother. I was his ex-wife, you know. That was the unhealed stuff inside of him that was on high alert, so that any sniff of criticism, because even if I'm sharing something from a grounded, healthy place, if I'm sharing something that's not working with me, and he's highly, highly sensitive to criticism, he's going to see and hear something that is so not reality. In fact, he's not even here. The same thing goes for women. And again, I'm pulling out men and women, and obviously it could go both ways, right? A guy could be an over-controlling whatever. We wouldn't call a guy an over-controlling bitch. We'd call him aggressive or a bully. So anyway, so for the women looking at the men, if you've experienced a man that was just full of himself and narcissistic, if you haven't healed the impact that had in your relationship, and you sniff out a little bit of him wanting something for himself, and why shouldn't he want something for himself, you might suddenly go, oh, he's a narcissist, or wow, he's a real asshole, he's only thinking of himself, when that's old wiring. Old wiring. When we have the old wiring inside of us, if we have all the unhealed experiences that have hurt us and shamed us and had us feeling scared to be with this person, don't you think you're going to be on high alert in your next relationship? Of course you are. That's healthy. That's good. You should be on alert, but not high alert. Because when you're so scared, when you're so worried, when your insides are going, oh my God, I don't want to make the same fucking mistake I did the last time and the last time and the last time, that's when you start just focusing on all the things you don't want to have happen. You're focusing on the qualities you don't want to have in the relationship, and you will find them. You will find them. What you seek, you will find. It's so true. So let me just see. I took some notes. Hold on a second. So here's another example. And this is actually a personal example that there's some pain around, when I look back at the, not pain now, but pain in the past. When I was growing up, and some of you know my story, I was really bullied, like from 9 years old till, mid-high school. A lot of damage was done. And I was getting messages that I was weird, which I am. I'll let my freak flag fly. I'm weird, I'm different, I don't fit in. I was getting all these messages that something was wrong with me and that I'm so different from everybody else. And I really felt alone, and I really felt like I would never have a tribe. I would never have people that would get me, or that I would get. So that was the wiring. I had the pain, I had the experiences, and then I felt this complete separation, that I was this lone ranger, and everybody else had these groups of people, and they were all happy and fun. Even when I went to college, I looked around one night at a party, and I just was like, I have nothing in common with anybody. There's like nobody that I can connect to. There's nobody that I feel like I even want to be with. I felt so alone, and I thought, I would never, like in that moment, I remember this very specific party, I remember thinking, like, how the heck am I going to survive by myself? That was the wiring. That was what was going on inside of me. And I really looked at the world through those eyes of, I'm different, I'm weird, there's nobody that's going to understand me or love me, and there's nobody that I can connect with. So that was what I was looking through. That was the wiring, and that was the lens that I looked through life with. And for many years, I felt isolated. I didn't feel like I had deep connections or deep friendships. I would look at people and I would go, Why is it so easy for people to have friends? Why is it so easy for people to have, a posse? I didn't understand it. I had my one or two friends, but even the one or two friends, I didn't feel solid. The only place I felt solid was in relationship, frankly. That was how, that was where I connected and felt accepted and loved, mostly because of the wiring, right? And so while I started to do my healing work, and this is friggin' amazing, when I started to do the shadow work and I started to embrace all of who I am and became more accepting of who I am and more loving of who I am, and enjoyed my quirkiness and enjoyed my weirdness, I actually started seeing the quirky, the weird, the beauty, the uniqueness in everybody else. And suddenly I was able to connect more deeply with other people. I also, because I rewired and felt more comfortable inside of myself, I wasn't so scared of connecting with other people because I wasn't so scared of being judged or um, kicked out of the group because I knew I was okay no matter what. And I'm grateful in this moment. I can say that I have a lot of friends. Of course, I have my really close posse, and I have a close posse. But I am able to look at the world now in such a different way where I can connect so much more easily with pretty much anybody. Seriously, like there's so few people that I wouldn't connect with. And it's probably because they don't want to connect with me. Because I see people very differently than I had those lenses on when I was in college, thinking this was the mindset. There's nobody that's going to accept me. I don't see anybody that I want to be connected with. We're so different. I'm so different. That was the wiring. So back to the topic. If you have had experiences, listen carefully, if you've had experiences with a partner that has hurt you and you've not done work around that, you are going to be on high alert. And the weirdest friggin' thing is not only are you going to be on high alert, one of two things are going to happen. You're either going to shy away from relationships because you're going to be so scared of getting hurt because you're going to see the problems in everybody else, or, and has this happened to you, you start dating the same friggin' person. You think they're different. You're excited that they're different, and suddenly they became the narcissistic asshole or the over-controlling bitch because there's something inside of you that's unhealed, and then you have to heal it, and so you draw it back in. Mindfuck, huh? The very thing you don't want to do happens again. I'm curious, who's willing to comment about dating the same person over and over again? They look different. They have a different name. They seem different. And then not so soon out soon out the gate, or maybe not so soon out the gate, but somewhere pretty soon out the gate, you go, holy fucking shit. This is the same person. I thought they were different. All right, I want to see who's here. There's a lot of people here. I want to know who has dated the same person over and over again. I'll raise my hand. I have a type. I definitely have a type for sure, and all my friends laugh at me about my type. And my type is fine. I love strong, confident, wild, open men that can stand strong in their power, speak what they need to speak, and can meet me in a solid way. Now, all of that's great, but an unhealed version of that is the strength gets too much and they become the bully, or they're overconfident and they don't let me in with my opinion. They can't meet me. All the qualities I mentioned can go sideways because they're unhealed. So the overly strong, confident man, not overly, because overly is over, but a strong, confident man suddenly becomes overly confident, overly strong, and is unavailable in the way that I need and want in a partner. Once I started doing my healing work, my relationships with men started to change because, first of all, I will not accept certain behaviors anymore because I'm not going to let myself be bullied. No. I spot it faster. I set boundaries faster, and I have better communication. Mostly, I have better self-care. Thanks, Tom. So how about you guys? Have you dated the same person over and over again? Are you on high alert for narcissistic assholes or women that are over-controlling bitches? Am I pissing you off by saying those words? And if I'm pissing you off or poking you in some way, I'm guaranteeing you have some healing to do there. We should chat. What do you guys think about this topic? I want to know. Anybody want to share? I want to talk to you. Someone talk to me. Don't you want to chat with me? Don't I look tame and sweet, and I'm not going to bite you? I'm in a computer. I can't reach you. So let me recap while you're pondering if you have the desire to interact with me. You've had experiences. You've heard me say this before, but with this topic, it really fits. You've had experiences in relationships that have hurt you. They've had qualities that you don't like and you don't want anymore. And with every quality that you don't like, I offer to you, there's gold in there. And that's what you're looking for. But you don't want the unhealed version of that. You don't want the shadowy version of that. You want those qualities in a healthy, vibrant way where you can meet somebody in that place. If you have experienced pain from the shadowy qualities that they brought, you are bringing that into your relationship, the next one. I promise you, you will, because it needs to be healed. And because it needs to be healed, because you've been hurt, you are going to attract, see, I have my crystal ball here. You're going to attract the same person because you need it to be healed. One of my more recent relationships, I saw that coming up to be healed. It was a different flavor of it, but oops, there it is again. And I learn from it and I grow from it. And I'm curious of what I'm going to do in the next relationship, being more mindful. But I took some time off from the last relationship, the last significant relationship, so that I could heal. So I didn't bring my shit to the next relationship, or at least less of my shit, because I got shit, you got shit. But let's clean up our shit, guys. Anybody? Addicts. Oh, is that what you, Tom, is that what you tend to go for? A woman with a twin engine, you and your flight stuff. I love it. I love the metaphors. A woman with a twin engine aircraft or high performance single. Okay, so being that I don't know anything about engines, I'm going to just make an assumption here. Twin engine aircraft sounds like a high boosted aircraft, like way more energy, way more power than needed. Is that would I be right? But you said the high performance single. So somebody that's high achiever, that's overshooting. Am I right, Tom? Because, and I'm just going to go with this for a second, because if somebody is a high achiever or workaholic, like that's the shadow part of the overachiever. I mean, the achiever. The overachiever is the shadowy part, the part that needs to work so hard. But inside the overachiever is the part of somebody that wants to work and achieve. And that's a good quality. But when it's in shadow, oh, no, two engines. All right, Tom, we got to talk. I need to know more about this flight metaphor. I'm going to go to Lynn. I'll get back to you in a second, Tom. My relationship is with someone I would have swiped left on Plenty of Fish. POF for those of you guys that aren't online, but it's the best relationship I've ever been in. Why is it the best relationship you've been in? You've been in this for a while now, so you would know what this is about at this point. Hey, Michael, good to have you here. So what is the swipe left? Okay, so Forget the aircrafts. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Until I get a little bit more insight into the engine thing, I might need some help. Oh, Evans, hey. Oh my God, all these wonderful people. I'm so excited to see. And Tom, oh my God. Tom, were we in kindergarten together? I think we were. Anyway, so good to have you all here. So swipe left. So sometimes, so that I'm going to go with that. I'm going to jump on that without knowing exactly what you're saying because I have an idea. So sometimes we think we're going to swipe left, or we say no to someone because they're not someone we typically would be attracted to. And that could be physical. That could be, you know, the characteristics. I mean, there could be reasons why we're like, no, this is not my person. Mwah, Michael. And there might be reasons why it's a good idea to swipe left because they might really not be your person. However, there's the qualities that you might be looking for might be in that person. And if we're open to it, you might be very surprised at finding what that person has if you are not on high alert. That's the thing. If you're on high alert, you're going to miss some of the greatest people. That's the other thing. If you're not healed inside, if you're not on that journey of self-awareness of what you're wanting, what you're calling in, you could have the greatest, most wonderful person right in front of you, and you won't see them. Sort of the swipe left concept. You won't see someone. Literally, you will not notice someone who could be so great for you if you are running all the old stuff, the unhealed stuff, because you're going to be drawing in something that you need to be healed. And if you are unhealed with the past relationships, then you're going to be pushing away some really great people as well. It's a little complicated. That's another whole topic. But let's stay here. Let's stay the course and see what other people are saying. 4 major relationships, 2 workaholics, 2 alcoholics. Got it. Addicts. Okay, and Lynn, for a second. We share life views and spiritual ideas that would never have been revealed in an online profile, which is another reason why you really need to know yourself, to know your values, to know what's important to you, and to take a chance on someone you're not sure if you're a fit for. You know, I've been dating recently, and frankly, it's a very interesting thing because I'm actually expanding who I'm letting into my arena because of exactly that, because I'm looking at my values and what's important to me, and somebody that may not typically be my MO is fitting more than in the past. But again, I digress. I want to go back to Tom. Tom and alcoholics and workaholics. So addicts, got it. Addicts, that's a big topic. So let me see what I can offer about that. Because you're not the only one, you know, you're not the only one. In fact, that's actually, you know, one of my MOs. I tend to attract people that are highly addictive or in recovery. It's a common thing. So for me, being someone who has done 12 steps in recovery, and I don't know your history, Tom, but I'll share about me. So for me, I was, you know, a lot of you know that I used food as a drug, and I have codependent, leaning toward codependent stuff because of my fear in the past of doing something wrong or causing conflict. So I was outside of myself. I still work on this, frankly. The food I have in check, but, you know, the codependent stuff. So I've gone to 12-step meetings, and in the past, though, I was very addictive. I did a bunch of different drugs, and I did the food, and, you know, even, you know, lean towards sex addiction at different times because I was so uncomfortable inside of myself. I was reaching out for something to fill my hole up, to fill that dark hole inside of me that felt empty and unloved and unworthy. The more I healed my addictive tendencies, the less I was attracting the men that were addicts. So then I moved into men that were in recovery. And some of them were more healed than others. And so, interestingly enough, the more I'm healed inside, the healthier the men that I am attracting as well. So for you, Tom, again, I don't know you that well. I would say that there's something inside of you that I want to be conscious of what I'm saying here, because I don't know you, and I want to talk to everybody about this, because I'm kind of thinking like the energy of an addict is somebody that is just, well, as an addict, we are looking for quick fixes, and we're looking to calm ourselves down, or we're looking to soothe ourselves because we haven't found sustainable ways to support ourselves. We haven't found healthy, sustainable ways to fulfill our needs. And so I guess for you, Tom, and for everybody else that might be attracting an addict or anybody that is not a fit for you, what's unhealed inside of you with those qualities? So for you, Tom, what's inside of you that might be not sustaining healthy choices? Where are you not in alignment with good self-care and good healthy boundaries? Because an addict doesn't have really good boundaries, right? You know, I teeter on workaholicism, you know, so that's an addiction too. It's like, you know, this feeling like I need to do more, I need to do more. And I put it out in front here for you to witness as well as share that, you know, there's a shadow inside of me that still says you need to do more, you need to do more, you need to be more successful, more. And so there's this pusher inside of me. So I'm very conscious of that pusher. I work with that pusher, I talk with that pusher, and I schedule in time to slow down and to rejuvenate. So for example, yesterday, I took the day off, full day off. My mantra all day long was, you're not going to do work, you're not going to do work, you're not going to do work. Because frankly, I love my work. But I had held the space for my coaching group all weekend. I'm getting over a cold. I'm like, you know, I just gave my life force to a whole bunch of women for 3 full days. That's after a full work week. So I needed to schedule unscheduled time. And I watched some movies, and I ate some good food, and I relaxed. The only reason I left the house was to get a chiropractic adjustment. So I've learned to build healthy boundaries. And so we need to continue to work on our own boundaries and our own health. And the healthier we are, the more we're going to attract somebody healthier. And the people we attract, in my opinion, my professional opinion as a shadow worker, have qualities that we need to further ourselves down the healing path. The need to fix, ego. Okay, the need to fix. So what is it about you that feels like you need to fix somebody? What if you don't fix somebody? What happens to you? Ego, I can fix it. Boundaries, boom. Yeah, so there must be something inside of you that feels like you need to be that hero. So maybe there's an unhealed hero inside of you, a part of you that needs to feel more valued and significant. You know, in Tony Robbins' work, he talks about human needs, and we need to fill our needs. We need to meet our needs and fulfill our needs. Otherwise, we're not going to survive. And so we're going to meet them in healthy ways and sustainable ways, or in ways that are negative. And so the need to fix somebody and the ego is about value. You know, to fix somebody, you're going to feel important. To fix somebody, you're going to feel connected. You know, if you fix someone, you're going to feel more like you're giving and you're loving. That's a human need, love and connection. Yeah, and variety too. That's the other thing about addictive personalities is, you know, they love lots of variety and lots of different colors, and they like to try different things, I mean, in general. And so you might be also looking for a little bit of that person that's not as stable, because that might be exciting for you. So maybe you need more excitement in a healthy way. So those are just some ideas I have for you, Tom. But everybody, think about it. Like, what are you attracted to? What are you bringing into your life, and why? What inside of you is being fed by the person that you're attracting, if it's a quality that's not healthy? Okay, let's see. I need to pay more attention to myself. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you're focused on somebody else, and this is for everybody, listen to this. This is so great, Tom. Thank you so much for playing. If you're focused on somebody else and you need to fix somebody else, who are you not paying attention to? Yourself. So what might you be avoiding? What might be uncomfortable about taking time for yourself? Maybe there's a part of you, and I'm talking to all of you, maybe there's a part of you that feels not deserving to take care of yourself, to focus on yourself. I hear this a lot with women. I'll be selfish. I'll feel selfish. Women are so giving and loving and nurturing, and that's our nature, right? Not to say that men aren't, but that is our nature as women. And so to focus on oneself feels selfish. Oh my God, I can't do that. What will people think? And so women give and give and give. And at the end of the day, you know, we get crumbs unless we learn how to give to ourselves. And so for you, Tom, to be able to, and for everybody, you know, in reference to fixing other people or focusing on other people, what might you be avoiding or not taking care of in your own house? It's a bad habit from youth. It's all habits, beliefs that can be broken. I promise you, they can be broken. Danke, back to you. All right, guys, we are 38 minutes past my tea time. So this has been a full time together. Please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you believe that all men are assholes? Do you believe that all women are bitches or control freaks? Have you had experiences with that? Has that hurt you? Let me know. I want to know what your experiences are. And do you think that it's possible? Is it possible that you might be wrong? Is it possible that there might be some women that are not over controlling bitches, but can have a sense of control and have healthy boundaries and have the ability to express themselves in their juicy, fiery way and not be what you've seen in the past? Maybe it's delicious. Maybe it's like, wow, she's wildfire. Maybe it's your perspective because of how you've been trained. Raised a Catholic. Okay. So, yeah, I work with a lot of Catholics in recovery. And for those of you that are Catholic, that's all good. As long as it's working for you. I mean, I think there are many paths. If you're happy, if you're feeling fulfilled and you're peaceful and loving, continue doing what you're doing. If you feel shame, if you feel hurt, if you're walking on eggshells, and if you feel like something's wrong with you, please reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you. It does, you know, I invite you to not hang your hat in, I'm fucked up, these are habits, this is not going to change, because I can guarantee you that is not the truth. I see it every day with my clients. Soon out the gate, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I feel so much better. I feel happier. I feel more confidence. You know, it can happen. So this was Tea Time Tuesday. If you enjoyed this, if you found value in this, please like it, share it. If you're watching the YouTube replay, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Hot news off the fresh off the press in this moment. I have a podcast that will be launching in March. Stay tuned. And until we meet again next week, many, many blessings to you. And may you know that healing is always possible. Mwah!